Guys, what's up? My name is Anthony, and welcome to another edition of B&A Sports Talk. So we are doing it again this year. 7 bold predictions for the New York Giants. Now, the other day, I did 7 bold predictions for the NFL. The Giants were not included in that list. Oh, actually, they were. I said we would be better than the Dolphins. Okay, never mind. So, 7 bold predictions, just purely Giants, purely just the G-Men. I don't know what I was looking for. So, let's get into it. And by the way, last year I did this. I said Daniel Jones would get 4,000 yards and 30 touchdowns. So I'm going to be a little bit more vague this year. So, I get it right. Number 1 is Daniel Jones is going to have at least 2 passing touchdowns. No, just kidding. Number 1, Andrew Thomas is going to be a better left tackle. His ankle injury, I think that's going to solve a lot of things. Now, is it just one of those things where it's just like, oh, yeah, it was his ankle injury. That's why he played so bad. I don't think that's 100%. But he talked about it in an interview. He's like, I'm working on where to set up in my pass rush reps. I'm working with timing, his hands, his strength, his everything. And I don't think he's ever going to be an elite left tackle, but as a 4th overall pick, I think he's going to end up being, you're going to look back in 10 years, like, that was a solid pick. That wasn't Mekhi Becton that we took a risk on, or a Tristan Wirfs who's really more of a right tackle. And we've already seen guys with that prototype move into guard. He's like, we know Andrew Thomas, he's a left tackle. He makes some mistakes sometimes, but he's not Eric Flowers, which you shouldn't be drafting Eric Flowers at 4, but yeah, I think you guys catch my drift. So he'll be a better tackle. He's going to let up like 5-6 sacks this year. You're going to be like, okay, some games you're like, okay, that guy had the better matchup. But I think last year's a big learning experience for him. He has good work ethic. I think he's going to be just fine. Next, the Giants are going to beat the Rams. Now, last year I said the Giants are going to beat the Ravens. That was like my bold thing. It's like, oh yeah, you look at the game in the schedule, like that's it. But yeah, it's towards the beginning of the season. The Ravens is more of like a season definer. I don't think this will be a season definer, but it will be one of those things like, boom, whoa, it will put us on the map. Because we had some early games against the Falcons, the Broncos, Washington, I think Dallas early. Do we play? But yeah, so when we play the Rams and we beat them, yes, you heard that. It's going to be like, whoa. Last year with Sean McVay, 17 points with Jared Goff. Now, Jared Goff had some bad games last year. We didn't score that many points. But that was like the first game where it's just like, yeah, this defense could be something, It's not really that talented, but now we have the plurality of defensive weapons. And I think you have Jalen Ramsey, he stops Kenny Golladay. Okay, good luck with all the other corners we're going to throw at you. And plus, it's a new defensive scheme with, what's his name? The guy from Atlanta. What's his name? Shit. Sometimes, you can't remember everyone's name, okay? We're not perfect. But, yeah, so I think we're going to win. We're going to win big. We're going to win like never before. Okay, let's go on to the next one. I think we're going to have a top pass rush unit. I'm going to say bold. I don't want to be bold and say top 10, but I guarantee we'll be a top half of the league in pass rush. Now, what does that mean? I mean, top half in sacks. Last year we had 30 sacks, which is not that good, but we did a lot of like creative stuff. But now we can do just pure 4-3 edge rush snaps. We can do that sort of thing. I think Dexter Lawrence is going to be better. I think Leonard Williams is not going to be as good, but he's going to take attention away from players. You have, what's his name that we got from Danny Shelton, who is actually a pretty good pass rusher because he's just good at his motor and just plowing through guys. What's it, like just bull rush? That's the word I'm looking for. So I think that we just have a bunch of options to look at, that quarterbacks will be confused, offensive lines will be confused, and we're going to generate some sacks this year, probably around 40 sacks. I'm not sure how I'm going to phrase it, but the Giants are going to be a top half pass rush this year. And that's going to be really important for our defense's success because it puts less stress on the secondary. That's also a top secondary. Next, speaking about that, Big Dexy is going to make the Pro Bowl. I'm saying it, 100%. He's going to make the Pro Bowl. Last year he had 4 sacks. This year he's going to have around 5-6 sacks. And this is coming out year. Dalvin Tomlinson no longer there. Now you're the leader almost here. You got to prove your first round worth. You're going to have Austin Johnson still there. BJ Hill is pretty good at pass rushing himself. But Dexter Lawrence is really going to show out. And I'm not going to start comparing to Vita Vea and, Washington. But it's going to be pretty hard for him because there are some really good interior linemen, especially in the NFC. I'm just grazing over the AFC. It's kind of hard to. It's Aaron Donald and him. That's what it'd have to be. So it's gonna be hard for him, but I'm guaranteeing it. Big Dexy will have a good season and he will make the Pro Bowl. Next, we will have a top 5 pick, and I mean that because the Chicago Bears are gonna suck. I flipped it. So I watched a whole video about Justin Fields, how he can run and pass. which, Nick Foles can pass, Mitch Trubisky can run, and, Justin Fields will be able to do both. So I think they're going to kind of rush him in a little bit because the fans are going to be clamoring because I do think they struggle with Andy Dalton. I think their wide receivers are a little bit overrated. Riley Ridley, Darnell Mooney. I've seen some things about him not being the best intricate route runner. I think that Matt Nagy, he's going to have play calling duties. And I listen to some guy. I don't watch. I'm not kind of like I analyze this stuff. But some people are like, Matt Nagy's a better play designer than a play caller. And I think that could screw him over. And you're gonna go towards the end of the season, and the Giants are gonna beat the Bears, and we're gonna knock them into a top 5 pick, and we're going to get a great pass rusher in Thibodeau. I don't know, but let's see. What's the next one I mentioned? Oh, there's gonna be 1 week this season where we basically say, is Judge the guy? Really? Is he the guy? There's gonna be 1 week. Whether we lose against Dallas by a lot, every team has stinkers. Kansas City Chiefs have stinkers. We're going to have one stinker. What's up with my voice? Okay, we're good. But we're going to have one stinker where everyone's like, is Joe Judge actually the guy? And then there's going to be 1 week where we're like, oh, Judge is the greatest. He's the next Belichick. So it's kind of like a twofer. They're going to be like, oh, should we invest in more in the offensive line? There's going to be a rock bottom this year. I hope you guys know. Is it when we lose 2 in a row to the Bucks, then, Chiefs, and then all of a sudden we lose to the Raiders, and it's like, oh, shit, like, what are we doing here? There's gonna be a rock bottom, but we have to come out through it strong. Next, Toney will have an up and down season. He's gonna fumble sometimes. He's gonna struggle with route running. He's gonna drop a pass that's gonna become an interception. There's gonna be some antics with him. People are gonna question him already. We've seen that. He's gonna have a really up and down year, and we're gonna love him. Where he's gonna. But towards the end of the year, I believe we're going to be like, oh, yeah, that was a pretty good pick. He's going to have 600 yards. It's like, oh, he wasn't great, but should we have drafted Terrace Marshall instead? Should we have drafted, an offensive lineman at that point? But he's going to have an up and down year, but you got to stick with it, So that's I'm not sure how much of a guarantee that is, but that's how the season's going to kind of play out, in my opinion. Next, we're going to be 4-2 or better in the division. I think we're going to beat Eagles twice, definitely, and we're split with Washington and Dallas. Now, people are like, we own Washington. That's a good defense, man. I think we're going to lose to them once this year. That's my guarantee. But we're going to be 4-2 or better in the division, and we haven't really been able to say that. We should have swept the division last year, honestly, based on all those games. The Evan Ingram drop, and then the kind of blowing it at the end of the game. Thanks, what's his name? Well, I forgot his name. That cornerback that we had for a little bit, the long-haired dude. Did he even have long hair? What was his name? I see. Okay, don't. Robert Morris. That was the name I was thinking about earlier. Was that a previous recording? Yeah, well, that was probably a previous recording where I mentioned Robert Morris and the Rams and why we're going to beat them. I don't know, but enough distractions. I believe we have one more here on this list. I'm trying to find it. No, this is it. The Giants are going to make the playoffs. 100%. Snapchat it. Mark it. Write it in the books. Here it is. The Giants are going to be 10-7 at least. We're going to win at least 10 games, and we're going to make the playoffs. That's a way to end the video, right? Hyping it up at the end of the video. Like, yeah, heck yeah. Yeah, I think we have the coaching. We maybe have the quarterback. Now, we can debate whether it's going to be good or bad this year that we surrounded Daniel Jones by all these weapons. Maybe like a false pretense, like, oh, he had to have every single thing, kind of like a Dak Prescott. Yeah, he had to have everything in order for it to work. Let's see what he does when there's nobody there. And then we already kind of see when he's nobody there, but it kind of hurts his development. So I don't know why I got into that tangent, but we're going to make the playoffs. We're going to be a 10-7 team. And, those are my guarantees. I was going to guarantee we're going to beat one of the Bucks or the Chiefs, but I'm saving that for my bold prediction video. We're going to beat both of them. There's a preview. I'm not sure when I'm going to upload that one. But hope you guys did enjoy this video. Let me know what you guys think. Are the Giants going to make the playoffs? Do you have any guarantees that you're willing to die in a hill on? Is Jabril Peppers going to make the Pro Bowl? Is Leonard Williams going to make a Pro Bowl? Is Evan Ingram going to finally be a good wide receiver or tight end, whatever? I hope you guys did enjoy, though, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.